Evet bayanlar baylar hepiniz Call of Juarez Gunslinger'ın 4. bölümüne hoş geldiniz. Biliyorsunuz ki önceki bölümde John Wesley adında birisi vardı. Bunu yakalamaya çalışıyorduk bu adamı. Ve sırtından vuruldu. Daha doğrusu Silas adlı karakterimizin söylediği o şekilde. Sırtından vuruldu ve hapishaneyi boyladı. Sonraki bölümde ise Dalton kardeşleri yakalamaya çalıştık. Dalton kardeşlerden ikisi öldü. Birisini şu an yakalamaya çalışıyoruz. Aradan biraz zaman geçti. Ee, Bakalım ne olacak göreceğiz. Tekrardan hoş geldiniz. Lütfen beni videoya başlamadan önce Instagram adresimden, Twitch adresimden takip etmeyi unutmayın. Üst kısımda zaten gözüküyor Instagram adresim. Ve kanalıma abone olmayı, videoyu beğenmeyi, yorum yapmayı lütfen unutmayın. Düşüncelerinizi merak ediyorum, bekliyorum. Bakalım ne olacak göreceğiz. Tekrardan hoş geldiniz.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed
İstiyorsan
into
şöyle bir
those
balkonlara
swamps,
doğru.
it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Patlayıcı mı hocam?
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Ha, kırmızı bandana. Ha, bunlar
It
bizim
was
adamlar.
tough to
Okey.
stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Bu şeydi. Old Man Clanton'a aitti sanırsam, öyle hatırlıyorum. Onun adamları takıyordu bunu. Kırmızı bandana. Evet, sağdan gideceğimiz yere bakalım. Şurada bir şey var mı? Burada bir şey yok. Ha, sinek.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color,
Oy.
red as blood.
Ha. Wow. Abi aniden şöyle çıkıyor ya.
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Hava sisli olmuş. Ha, burada bir şey var. Sıkıntı. Evde bir şey var mı? O bir şey yok. Oha. S'ye bastım. Hop.
Except for some son of bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm, so I had to face them alone.
Hop hop hop hop. Reload yap. Güzel.
I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Bizi tuzağa düşürmeye çalıştılar ama maalesef olmadı. Hopa. Nereden gideceğiz? Şöyle gösteriyor. Şuradan mı geçeceğiz?
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable
Oh.
pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Bam.
The boys had established quite a reputation by
Hop,
that
nereden
time, so
vurdu?
they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Çık hadi. Oradasın değil mi? Hop ver hocam şunu. Güzel. Eyvah. Of. Sağdan gelen var. Hop. Nice. Çok güzel be.
Point being, I was under serious attack, and my reinforcements
Evet, diğer
was
adamlar
nowhere to be
nerede?
seen.
Destek verin abi. Zor durumdayım bakın şu an. Hop. Hop hop. Of, tam kafadan. Hop. Evet, şu an temiz. Güzel.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before
Oh.
my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Tamam, üstüne çıkalım.
but just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes.
Çok iyi
Of
be.
course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
Uğraşık hakikaten ya.
Steve,
Dokuz. Ses
so
ne?
I just started walking, and pretty soon,
Oğlum biri horluyor. Allah Allah.
Steve,
Steve.
Steve,
Ha tamam.
No,
Lan diyorum oğlum
no, I'm
benden nerede horluyor diyorum Allah'ım ya.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Oba. Sildariler gelmiş yine. Hop. Hop. Hop hop hop.
No, I just wanted to make sure
Steve dikkat
Steve was
edecek
paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp.
Aynen öyle.
That's
Steve
right.
sakın ha
See,
uyumuyor
Steve,
bir de.
Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
Ay yalanla senin var ya.
So, where was I?
The
Gel
Daltons.
şöyle bir
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunters! Stop!
Elle avcıları. Hop. Hop.
So did you ever
Çocuklar
find
sakın
the
ha
damn
pusu kurmaya çalışmayın.
Yeah, but I did find a few of their cousins.
Hop.
Two Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Hoffers or who
Nereden
knows
vuruyor hocam
what.
o?
But hell, what's more
Kokunu
important
kurut.
than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Abi nereden vuruyorsun? Nereden vuruyorsun hocam? Ben göremiyorum.
Bounty hunters! Stop that son of
Hop.
a bitch!
Hay Allah. Hop. Yemezler koçum. Allah Allah. Lan adam dipteymiş zaten. Oğlum ben seni vurmadım mı?
Bounty hunters! Stop that son of a bitch!
Allah Allah. Enteresan. Bomba atacağım lan. Al bombayı. Ha? Hop. Oğlum vurdum bak. Allah Allah. Eyvah. Hadi ye onu, ye onu. Of. Tam kafadan. Şurada ne var? Oh. İşte 3. Patlayıcı. Ver. Hop. Hadi. Neredesin? Göremiyorum seni, neyse. Neredesin?
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Evet, bir yetenek var açılmış. Bu ne? Derin cepler avcı. Hocam çok fazla bunu kullanmıyoruz ama dur bak şunu bir açalım da. Baleyos. Okey, çifte kovanlarda daha da geliştiriyor. Bunu da patlat.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Aynen öyle.
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
Ya ne yapacaksın Steve?
Does that
Ne
really
fark
make
eder
a
mi?
difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come
Oh.
raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found.
Of.
But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Hop hop hop hop. Yenile. Ver mermileri. Heh.
That's it for you.
Hop. Of. Yalnız burada full patlayıcı dolu. Burada bir şey var mı? Yukarıda falan. Dur bakayım. Ha, kırmızı var.
Somewhere there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Bizi bekliyorlar seni. Bu ne? Seri patlar. Hangisini alalım? Ver. Ver çifte patlar ver. Ağızdan ağızdan vurayım ben. Ohoho.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben.
Hop.
I set out to do something. I did. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Of, çok kötü vurdum yalnız. Hop. Hop. Bunu alabiliyor muyuz? Hop. Buradan bir şey yok.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their
İngilizce
leader
gelmişler.
motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit.
Neresi? Arkada mı? Ha şöyle.
Turned
Hop.
out that they had me.
Aa.
I'm sending you to hell.
Haydi.
Daltons had played me like a
After
fiddle.
all this,
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't
Koş,
just
koş.
want to shoot me. They wanted to
Nereden
burn
gideceğim?
me alive. but finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite
Vay
a
şerefsiz sattı.
Right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh yeah, but I was in a fight.
About that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic.
Hadi.
You
Hadi
have to
Silas,
be
hadi.
too blessed to. I don't think they'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is
Çabuk haydi.
oh god,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Green?
Hadi hadi.
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. Somehow I managed to finally
Hadi.
disembark.
Of.
It was time to settle this once and for all.
Of. Of. Tamamen temizliyoruz artık bunları. Oh. Of. Of. Geberin pislik herifler sizi.
Bob and Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined
Oh, no.
to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Hop. Bir dakika abi şimdi ikisini nasıl öldüreceğiz? Bir dakika. Şimdi şuna odaklıyoruz, okey, tamam mı? Bir dakika. Hocam bir dakika, şimdi ilk başta sağdakini mi vuracağız o zaman? Bir dakika, şimdi sağdakine şey yapacağız. Fokuslanacağız o zaman.
They got it
Kafadan.
wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite
Evet,
his wounds.
sağdakini vurduk. Kafadan tam headshot.
Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and
Nice.
lived off the legend of
Güzel.
that fateful day. And the tragic death of
Onu bu
his
şekilde
two
öldürdük.
brothers.
Adon kardeşleri onu bu şekilde öldürdük.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
White Bunch, Juarez 1868, bölüm 7.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy."
Şerefsiz vay.
Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us. But being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Yolunda gitmeyen tren soygunu. Butch Cassidy ve Sandusky'deki Wild Bunch Batı'nın en ünlü haydut çetesiydi. Wild Bunch. Hiçbir tren
I've been
soygunu.
on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy,
Wilcox.
they were a
Von
loose
2
association
Haziran
of outlaws
1899.
who
Dalton
robbed
vefatından
banks and
hemen hemen
trains
7 yıl
from
sonra.
Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid
Bir
and
yeteneğimiz
that murderous
açılmış.
hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Alalım hocam. Şimdi beyaz silah.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
Hazine oldu mu işler değişir tabii. O bir çatışma geliyor yalnız.
They blew the
Oo.
bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Oy oy oy.
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I
Allah.
was determined to make that
Anam.
son bitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Buradan gideceğiz yukarı. Eyvah. Lan. Oy.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Ne hocam? Namlusu tüfek. Aa, bunu deneyelim nasılmış? Tamam.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say?
Evet, görkemli bir
I
giriş
made my
yapalım.
way off unscathed and
Atla.
came upon a few members of the
Ooh.
gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more
Oh.
precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Cidden. Okey. Şimdi şuradan mı oradan bir dakika? Orada ne var? Trenin üstüne atla. Eyvah. Hop. Uf. Tam
I
kafadan.
jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall.
Oh.
I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados.
Okey. Soygucuların işini bitir ve baba bul.
Outside, inside,
Hoppa.
any way I could, I made my way toward my prey.
Hop. Lanet olsun sana. Hocam. Bu ölür müsün artık?
Passengers.
It was mostly a freight train, as I
Ne bu?
recall.
Okey.
There were no passengers
Hop.
aboard that day.
Hop hop. Çekiliyorum ya. Hop. Hop hop. Oo. Biraz da dinamitin tadına bakalım. Hop hop hop. Ver hocam. Sen bana eski tüfen ver. Bu iyidir. Okey. Şimdi.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to
Oy
my
oy oy.
death.
Buradan değil zaten şuradan.
Odds were I
Hop.
was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of
Ya
those
sıkacağım ama
bastards
bir
as I
dur bak.
could.
Cidden sinirimi bozuyorsun. Çifte. Ver lan ver. Çifte sıkacağım sana hadi. Sen bu dilden anlıyorsun hadi. Nereden hocam? Bir dakika şimdi. Okey. Lan dur bir dakika. Lan yol yok muydu buradan?
Times it was like shooting ducks
Huh?
in a shooting gallery. The only
Nasıl
difference
oluyormuş?
is these damn
Çiftemin
ducks
tadına
shot
bakmadınız daha. Of. Çok kötü öldüler. Ver hocam tüfeğini, okey. Çık bundan. Düz burun curry. O nasıl isim lan öyle? Okey. Tırman. Okey. Bir tane şeyimiz açılmış. Şurada silahlar avcı. Sanırsam şurada bir gelişim vardı. Nerede o? Heh. Okey. Şunu da açtık mı? Tamam. Daha hızlı reload yapacağız
I
şu an.
kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You mean
hand.
like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Bilmem geldiler mi? O kim? Joel DeForce, TJ Carr, Tim Kellier, Sundance Kid, Butch Cassidy, Kid Curry, Elsie Lay. Desteğe gelmişler.
Help?
Haydi.
From the Pinkertons? No, son.
Aa,
I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome. As usual.
gelmemişler lan. Tüh be, ulan sevindik ne güzel. Nereye gidiyorsunuz çocuklar? Nereye gittiniz sanıyorsunuz? O herkesi öldürüyor. Ne sandın oğlum? Abo, aygır geldi. Aygır geldi, vallahi geldi. Lan öl lan. Hı. Aygır geldiydi ha. İşte ver hocam. Okey, nereden? Aşağı mı? Yok, bir dakika. Şimdi dur. Şu kapıyı mı açacağız? Hop. Eyvah. Evet, gel çiftemin tadına bak be. Beyin dağıtıyor ha. Beyin falan bırakmıyor.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened.
Oo. Ver hocam.
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was gonna stay on
Benim
the Bob's
pislik
trail.
herifler. Hop. Hop. Of. Hop. Geberiz. Sinirler. Of. Oh.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis,
Aramaya koymuş.
determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry,
Who was he?
the fastest gun in the gang. Right after
şu
Sundance, I
adam.
mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Of.
On that very
Tam
same day,
headshot.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Of, vuruşa gel be. Tam kafadan vurduk var ya.
They ended up
Başarılı.
living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
George Flat-Nose Curry onurlu şekilde öldürüldü. Evet, güzel. 1.30 Cehennem Treni. Size Graves'in iddiasına göre onun Bob Bryant ile olan devamlı takibi Wild Bunch'ın liderini güven Amerika'ya kaçırdı. Aa öyle mi?
I tried to find Bob
Paraşüt
Bryant,
Colorado,
but it
7
was
Temmuz
as if he'd
1904.
disappeared.
Tren soygunundan 5 yıl
Sometime later, I
sonra
heard the
Virgo.
Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang.
Kit Curry. Tamam, bu ne? Okey, bombacı. Şunda ne var? Şimdi bazı çift adamı mı? Tamam, açalım bunu da.
So
Hepsini
I
aç
took
aç
to their
gidiyoruz şu
trail,
an.
as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Hadi bakalım. Ne oluyor?
That kid Curry's kind of crazy, ain't he?
Bıraktı.
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
İşleri bitir. Çocuklar.
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking
Hop.
those bastards down.
Ver kafadan. Bir daha. Çık dışarı. Çıkar o küçük kafanı. Of. Ne vurduk be.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty.
Şeyler
I
ters
just
gitti.
needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Ne gibi? Alt katlar, okey. Ha, kırıntı var. Güzel, kırıntı bulduk. Tamam. Nereden gideceğiz? Buradan değil. Nerede? Çete kampın nerede olduğuna dair ipucu yok.
And I found one. A map with their bold
Köprü.
plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific.
Aa, Birleşmiş Pasifik. Evet. Büyük bir şey olacak. Oo.
The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the
Haydi.
weakest wooden supports.
Amma. Eyvah eyvah. Sanırsam bunu durduracağız ya. Ertesi sabah paraşütün dışı. Çetenin
Kid
kuponu
Curry was
yapmasını-
considered the wildest of the
Nger
Wild
olmuş.
Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards.
Tren köprüsünü etkisiz hale getir.
And I made it a point to
Söküldü.
remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a
Oğlum
ladder
şöyle
that
bir anda bir
somehow
şeyler
had
geliyor
escaped
ya.
my attention.
Blow us up now.
Korkuyorum lan
Don't worry,
seslerden.
I know what I'm doing.
Ha, birisi var. Aa, aşağıdalar. Çek o ellerini.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head
Yak
off.
hocam.
It appeared
Bunları
the kid had
sökemiyor
found
muyuz?
a number of
Lan.
new recruits to bolster their ranks.
Bak ya, Allah
Always
Allah.
desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite,
Tamam, bunu da
I
etkisiz hale
decided I
getirdik.
might as well remove the other one.
Hop çocuklar.
Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from
Çeteleri
there.
çekeceğim illa. Hop. Bir yenile bakayım. Tamam, hazırız. Çık dışarı. Ve tam kafadan. Güzel. Dostum ne yapıyorsun burada? Bir bisiklet vuramayacağım mı zannettin sen? Hop. Hop. Bombalara gel. Hop.
So,
Tamam
what
kapalı.
happened
Hocam
then?
mermi
Had to
mermi
remove
yok.
more of that damn dynamite.
Evet, nerede? Bir dinamit daha var. Ver. Tamam.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Ateş ettim. Ya, yalan söylüyorum ama böyle bir şey yok. Evet. Ha okey pardon. Tamam şimdi oldu. Allah. Anam. Nereden vuruyor?
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress.
Hop. Düştüm
Once I
zannettim lan.
removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Oğlum şu büyük adamlar harbiden korkutuyor beni ya. Çat çat sıkıyor hemen. Çıkartattım kafanı ve güle güle. Hop. Çok güzel, çok
So I
güzel.
proceeded onward and realized that that way
Devam.
just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Şuradan gideceğiz ama. Bir dakika ne? E'ye bak. Köprünün diğer tarafına geçmek için bir yol. Aha, atlayacağız mı? Oh. Bir yeteneğim var. Şunu alalım. Aga konsantrasyon ne kadar önemliyse bizim için o kadar iyi vuruş yaparız.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me.
Ne o lan?
It was a long burning fuse, and it was
Ateşlemişler
moving
lan.
fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Çabuk çabuk çabuk. Hop.
The burning fuse was so damn
Çabuk lan çabuk.
I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment,
Yakala hadi. Oh.
of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking
Son
to you
anda.
folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a
Ne oluyor?
touching
Hey.
reunion.
Okey tamam. Üf. Son anda.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not even
Ya.
a man anymore.
Abi
Of course, I
space'e
had to
basıyorum
tread
bak.
carefully.
Yemin ediyorum deli ediyorsun
Otherwise, I
beni ya.
could, well, die.
Allah Allah. Deli etti beni, cidden deli etti ya. Basıyorum hala görmüyor. Köprü tamam hocam.
Kill that SOB. Make you bleed.
Oy oy. Hop.
Finally, I found those boys. Or more
Oradalar.
precisely, they found me.
Hey, Tracer, Kid Curry asked me. Nuttier than a damn
Allah. Mermi.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Haydi. Eyvah. Kid Curry. Aşağılık herif seni. Shit. Bir dakika hocam, onu nereden vuracağım? Oo. Bir dakika, daha da yaklaşmam lazım.
Eventually, I brought that
Oh.
tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Kid. Aşağılık herif seni. Kardeşim için. Pislik herif. Hemen kaçamazsın. İkimiz de aynı anda öldük. Hop, şaka gibi ya.
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Senin gibi bir adi bir herife onursuz bölüm yakışırdı zaten.
And as he
Kardeşim
lay
şimdi.
wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Sen öyle zannet. Oy. Of.
Those were his last words.
Bu senin hak ettiğin bölümdü zaten. Şunu aşağılık herif. Evet. Bu bölümde Kid Curry'yi öldürdük. Ve diğerleri ne olacak? Bakalım.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger
Younger.
gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Pardon. Jesse James. Bölüm 8.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Biz ona bir görünelim bakalım, iyi mi değil
was
mi?
Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed
Oh.
near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Bölüm demirden Küheyla'nın üstünde geliyor. Siles'a göre kardeşlerinin katillerinden diğeri Jesse James ile banka soymuştur. Ranger yavaş bir ateş hızına sahiptir falan filan, okey. Hop. Hocam özellikle kafandan vuruyorum, öyle artık bak, ciddi diyorum. Hop. Hop. Hadi çık aşağılık. Oho, kafadan. Hop.
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Geri geliyoruz yine. Hop, başa sardım. Efsaneydi. Bir treni durdurabilirdi. Kolunu bile kıpırdatmadan. Ve o Jesse James.
They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same
Hop.
train.
Of. Girişe gel. Hop. Hocam giriş bile bomba ya.
The James Younger gang was
Trende
decimated
Winston'la
after the
yolculuk.
little
Hemen hemen
fiasco
30
they
yıl
had in
önce, evet.
Northfield,
Biraz daha genç
Minnesota.
haline gittik.
So Jesse needed
Devam.
more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
Then you took them
Oh.
all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow.
Abartılı mı buluyorsun?
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that train was flying down those tracks like a badass?
Aşağı mı? Of. Lanet olsun. Hop.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks and been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Abi şaka gibi ha. Şu an durduk. Hiçbir şey yapamıyoruz şu an. Dur bakayım.
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Bedava kör arıyor. Bak inanmıyorlar da bize.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack,
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe to toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the side.
Abi bir şey diyeyim mi? Bomba ya.
At some point, some
Oy.
somebody saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
Kırtımlar. Bitti. Ver hocam. Ver ver ver.
To that limey
Burada bir şey var mı?
But I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. There's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Bir dakika, şurada bir şey var mı?
Glad to know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember.
Sikerim, sen kimsine vur. Bak şuraya gittim, boşluğa düştüm ya. Hiçbir şey yapmadım bak. Evet, merdivene mi çıkacağız? Atlayacağız mı? Hop. Hop. Hop.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. Right about then, I was attacked by some
Mitral
asshole
Yozcu.
on a Gatling gun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack?
Of.
You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Seri patlarlar falan filan. Mermi yok mu mermi? Bir dakika, şunu kullanamıyor muyum şöyle? Heh. Oh. Yine.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way.
Aç kapıyı.
And that included Jesse James himself.
Hop.
There sure were a lot of men determined to die
Hop.
that day.
Aynen öyle, kesinlikle. Bizim elimizden ölmeye can atıyorlar. Tamamdır, öldü. Allah! Yukarıdan mı ateş ediyor? Ben Size Graves'im oğlum, sen kime ateş
It
ettin?
was then
Eyvah!
that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train.
Allah! Ulan! Oğlum!
I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
Haydi!
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin.
Hop, o da şurada.
Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
Hocam odak kaymasın biraz. Hop şurada. Hop. Lan. Of. Son
Yeah,
anda.
I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince
Kafadan
him to hang up
vuramadık.
his
Ya,
gun.
sol
What
omuzdan
about
vurduk.
that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Ha, ölmüş, okey. Tamam, öldürdük. Jesse James öldü. Nice. Affetmeden. Jesse James 1882 yılında Robert Ford tarafından öldürülmüştür ve onun çetesinden geri kalanlar Frank adındaki pek bilinmeyen erkek kardeşinin yardımına gitmişlerdir.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch Jim.
Frank ve Jim'in peşindeyiz şu an. Okey. Evet.
I followed those bastards
Tamam.
into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
Evet dostlar, burası bölüm sonu olsun. Bir sonraki bölümde bakalım diğer iki kişiyi yakalayabilecek miyiz? Jim'le Frank sanırsam, evet. Jim'le Frank'i yakalayabilecek miyiz? Bakalım neler olacak, göreceğiz. Çok hareketli gidiyor. Jesse James'i öldürdük. Bir sonraki bölümde ne olacak göreceğiz. Beni lütfen takip etmeyi, kanalıma abone olmayı, Instagram adresimden takip etmeyi lütfen unutmayın. Videoyu beğenmeyi ve yorum yapmayı lütfen unutmayın. Bakalım ne olacak göreceğiz. Görüşmek üzere, bay bay.